Hey there, Kirsten Foss from refreshedbiz.com. I wanted to talk today about hiring. How do you know when it's the right time to hire staff? Whether you're a solo or you already have a team and you're feeling a bit of the crunch and you think that it might be time to hire. Okay, so you have been working in the spa, it's been kind of busy, you're feeling like it's busier than normal, and probably people are calling and wanting hours outside of what you're actually booked or what your team is already booked for. And so that is making you feel like it may be time to bring on a new team member to your business. However, there's a couple of things that I want you to know about before you jump in with 2 feet and hire somebody, because I'd hate for you to realize you hadn't made a really clear decision with all the right data. So the first thing that I want you to think about and to look at when you're getting ready to hire is I want you to go into your system, your booking system and your point of sale system, and I want you to look up the metrics for productivity. Now, productivity is how many hours you have for sale compared to how many hours are actually sold. So this is actually how busy you are on the schedule. Now, for productivity, what you want to look at, it's going to be a percentage, and the percentage that you want to be at minimum before you hire anybody is 80% productivity. Okay, so what that means is that you are 80% booked consistently, and I don't want you to look at just the past week or even just the past month. You need to look at your productivity for probably the past 3 to 6 months to get a really good gauge as to actually what's happening in your business. Because why hire on somebody if the flow of your business is still really fluctuating, really going up and down? Because that means that you'll go through this whole time consuming process of, taking applications and resumes, going through them, doing the interviews, doing the practical interviews, hiring, telling them that you have hours for them. And then it turns out that if your productivity isn't consistent, then you really don't have any time to give them. And it's just a big old waste of time, and it's really frustrating for everybody, both you and your new hire. So, and the reason why I bring up looking at your metrics, looking at the productivity number, is because sometimes our perception of things in our business is different than what it actually is. So this is the reason why I'm constantly saying, know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers, because you need that data to make better decisions. You can't just go by what you think is happening or what you feel is happening, because often it's not being quite truthful. The second part that I want you to look at in your numbers is your cash flow. Can you actually afford to hire on a new team member? When you're growing a team, it's a long-term business strategy. It's not like you're going to hire a new staff member, kind of throw them on the floor, and you're just going to magically be making more money. There's a big process to this. There is, there's training. I think that's a huge thing that often gets missed in our industry, is that it's been the blind leading the blind for a really, really long time, for decades and decades. And how it used to be done is you'd hire a new esthetician, you may show her around, show her, a few treatments that you want her to do, and then all of a sudden she's, put on the floor. I don't understand how you could possibly set anybody up for success for that. Even if this esthetician is a seasoned esthetician, you still need to go through a training program and all the protocols that you have to make sure everybody's doing the same thing and that there's consistency in your business. So so there's training, and it's going to take time for them to build up a clientele. That can be really expensive and can be really hard on your cash flow if you're not prepared for it, right? So you need to look at your numbers before you do any kind of hiring. You need to know what you're getting yourself into, because it just kind of sucks when you realize you've gotten yourself into something that's expensive and you realize you made a mistake. So if you think you're ready to hire, Don't start accepting resumes right away. I want you to go into your system, look up what your productivity is for the past 3 months and then for the past 6 months. And then I want you to go and look at your budget, look at your cash flow. If you plan on bringing in somebody, 16 hours a week, you're going to know how much you're going to pay them roughly. Keep in mind you have to budget for payroll taxes as well, because that's an expense for you. Figure out what 16 hours a week is going to cost you. Can you afford to do that if they're not bringing in clients right away? All right, so there's just a couple of tips to think about before you start your hiring process. And I tell you this because I don't even want you to get into the mud and realize you made a big mistake. All right, so if you are a spa owner and you are thinking, yep, I am ready to hire, but you need a little bit more hand-holding and you want some more help with this, you can feel free to connect with me at Kirsten@refreshedbiz.com. I do offer a 30-minute complimentary coaching session. And it's a chance for you to see what I'm going to say, the kind of strategies that I'm going to give you for your business. All right. So feel free to hit me up for that if you haven't already. All right. Thanks for watching. See you later.